Hi, friends. Welcome to another Mentorship Monday. We're happy that you've tuned in, and we have a powerhouse of a conversation coming up. We will be joined by one of our minds, and I'll allow her to introduce herself in a moment. If you had missed our last episode or last month's episode, you may also check it out on our YouTube page, which is Minds of Jamaica. You can just search for our name and you'll be able to see all the previous videos. All the episodes of Mentorship Monday that we have will be on our YouTube channel. If you know anyone who's searching for a mentor or would benefit from those conversations, feel free to share it with them. I am about to add our guest for today. If you have questions, please share them in the comments and we will try to answer the questions as much as possible. We are, I'm excited for this conversation. Let me just say that. So I know for sure you'll also get some benefits and some gems from this conversation. So let me go ahead and add our guest for today. Hi, Nicolette.
Hi. Thanks for
Can you
having
hear
me.
me?
Yes, I'm
It's a
hearing you.
pleasure. Perfect. Okay, I can hear you as well. Okay. Are you ready for this conversation?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, please? Introduce yourself for us.
Hi, everyone. Hi to all our viewers. My name is Nicolette Manahan Buchanan, and I am a practicing quality hygiene and sustainability manager in the hospitality industry. I have over 17 years of experience within the industry, and I'm just happy to be here to share my knowledge, to answer any questions that you may have. I am very open, very fun, and the conversation is just there for chats.
Okay. First of all, 17 years in an industry, building a career, that is amazing. First of all, you don't look like you've been working for 17 years. So there's that. But what has this always been the career path that you've wanted for yourself or that you've strived to create for yourself?
Actually, no. I initially wanted to be an attorney, but then after doing A-level law and finding out that in Jamaica you don't get to face around the courtroom like in Law and Order, I was like, no, this is not for me. But actually studying it and seeing that I was a little bit bored with it, it wasn't fun. So then I decided to opt for teaching. So I did my degree in English. So I taught English language and literature for almost 3 years before I transitioned to the hospitality industry.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
What spurred the pivot to hospitality?
So funny enough, this was one summer. Actually went on vacation with some friends of mine from college, and we stayed at a hotel in Negril, owned and operated by back then Super Club. So this is 17 years ago. And one morning during breakfast, the hotel manager at the time was walking around doing his rounds, talking to the guests while we were sitting at the table, and just basically asking us, "How is your vacation going?" And I jokingly said to him, "It's amazing here. You don't want to keep me? You can hire me, you can keep me here." And he's like, "Yes, you're serious. We do have an opening." So I took his business card at the time, not thinking anything big about it, but I always believe that you shouldn't give up on an opportunity. So I did send my resume. And within a week, I got a call. And came back to McGill, did the interview, and I was offered a post as assistant HR manager. So that's where the journey started. I just saw how much that hotels in particular took care of their guests, how happy the staff were, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Oh, that is amazing. Like Okay, leap of faith. Love that.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was definitely a leap of faith. Packing up all
Prior
I from Kingston.
prior to working in hospitality, was that something that you wanted to do or was inspired to do, or was it just a spur of the moment? Oh, let me try this.
I was just curious. I knew that I had a passion for teaching, but I also had a passion for people, just engaging, meeting people from different walks of life, learning about them. And I think hospitality afforded me that to just really meet different people from all over the world, hear their stories, hear why they chose this destination. And when I got to talking to guests, and even talking to some of the team members, I realized that this is where I want to be. It really doesn't feel like 17 years, to be honest, but it has been uh, an incredible journey. Yeah, it
Oh,
has
I love
been.
that. That's amazing. I love that. 17 years is still wow to me. So,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. All right. So, your role is quality hygiene and sustainability manager. I've never seen that combination of roles. Could you tell us a little bit about your role, what your day-to-day looks like?
Well, well, my day is never the same. Let's put it that way. I love that it's not a monotonous role. I love that I get to do different things every single day. So basically, quality focuses on the standards of the hotel. It also focuses on legal compliance and just basically monitoring the metrics of the hotel, how we do in terms of on social media, on review platforms, how our tour operators see it through the guest eyes. And then we have hygiene, which focuses on the health and safety of the guests. So the HACCP principles, making sure that food safety is a priority, focusing on chemical safety as well as the general documentation that needs to happen for our legal compliance, as well as just general food safety standards. And then sustainability focuses on our carbon footprint, how we operate as a hotel, how sustainable we are, focusing on how we conserve the environment, our community involvement. Um, it also focuses on waste and energy conservation. So it's quite a bit, you know. So I actually have some help. I have two incredible team members that work alongside with me. So I do have a hygiene coordinator and I do have a sustainability coordinator. So they help to balance things out while I oversee the general operation of the department, but focus more on the quality side. Um, and it's just been an interesting day-to-day experience, to be honest with you. I, as I said, the industry has afforded me several opportunities because, as I said, I started out in HR and then I moved on to be assistant to the vice president of operations. Then I, that hotel actually unfortunately closed and I moved on to another property within that hotel chain and I was assistant hotel manager. Then that property closed as well, and I went on to be hotel manager at a small boutique hotel. And eventually, that hotel had some issues, and I it had to unfortunately close down. It's rebranded now, and I moved on to another big corporation, one of probably the biggest in the Caribbean, and I started out in food and beverage. And then I moved on to, again, spending some time in the executive office. Then moved on to be guest services manager and then environmental health and safety manager. And then now here we are, 17 years later, quality hygiene and sustainability manager.
Okay. All right. So you've shared several different roles, several
Yeah.
different compartments, several different things that I wouldn't have thought just being on the outside would have been a part of the industry and like would create different opportunities.
Absolutely.
Could you share more about like the different opportunities that are just a hospitality field that persons probably wouldn't be aware of?
Well, there is so many opportunities, believe it or not, any career that you can possibly think of, it's available to you in hospitality. So if you want to be an engineer, it's there. If you want to be an accountant, it's there. If you work in healthcare, being a doctor or a nurse, you are needed in hospitality. So it's just quite a broad um, career field that you can really, really achieve all your goals and grow from. I have been lucky, or I should say blessed, to be afforded some of those opportunities where I've worked for hotel brands that have given employees the opportunity to further their education while working. So there are scholarship opportunities in some of the hotel brands for you to even get your education up to a master's degree. There is opportunity for you to do um, departmental certifications um, through partner courses through some of the top universities across the world, partnerships with Harvard, with FIU, with many different schools you can think of. So there is a myriad of opportunities that exist out there in our industry. And I can see where many persons have been able to support their lifestyle, feed their families, and just have an overall comfortable life from hospitality.
That is truly amazing. I know for me, like I get bored pretty easily. So maybe after 2 years or whenever I feel like I've accomplished what I came here for, I'd like, okay, I'd basically realize, okay, there's nothing else for me here. I love that there is much missing for expansion, top and growth in the same career field or career opportunity. Like you can grow, you can that it's so diverse, and I love that. I love that there are different ways to use the same skill that you would have fostered over the career that you have.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that your day-to-day is not routine.
No.
Does this career allow for family life, social life, friends? What's that like?
Well, luckily, my position is considered administrative management. So therefore, I do get a little bit more wiggle room than some of my fellow managers. So uh, like myself, HR and accounts, we don't work on weekends or the public holidays. So I do have a good work-life balance, if you want to put it that way, where I'm able to still spend time with friends and family, still get my rest, but still contribute to my team effectively. Yeah.
That's great. On the same question that your career is very, let me not say like that. Your job is very full, so it gives you your hands-on. Is it us- is it usually just year-long continuously, or do you have stuff, busy period, not so periods?
Yes,
Because of the fees, is it a sales or then flow of work?
yes, it depends on what the operational needs are. So there's times when if the occupancy is high, we are expected to be a little bit more operational. So you'll see me doing things that I would not normally be doing on a day-to-day basis. So I will go into the operation and assist my team members. I will clear a plate from the table of a guest. I will clean up. I will set a table. I will do all the things that are required operationally to ensure that everything is going smoothly, especially if another department is heavy with a lot of guests in that location. So it's not just textbook that I am in the kitchens inspecting or I am working with Ministry of Health or I'm working with one of the governmental agencies that usually inspect the property. There's a lot of administrative work as well that comes with that because, as I said, we audit. So I audit on standards. I audit all departments on the SOPs of the company, the standard operating procedures. And I have to spend time developing training programs as well for areas that are not necessarily consistent or areas of opportunity that I may find during the audit. So, as I said, my day is never the same. Today I may be with front office, tomorrow it's food and beverage, another day it's spa. I'm in the kitchen, I'm in housekeeping, I'm all over. So I'm doing audits, I'm training, and basically just ensuring that it's all going as per standard.
That's a big role, honestly. For persons who would be interested in joining the hospitality sector or just having a career in hospitality, is there a specific qualification that they should be guided towards or that they should choose before saying, hey, this is what I want to do? Is there a specific personality type that they would need if this is a sector that they would like to venture into?
Well, ideally, once you're in a management or supervisor role, you're going to be expected to have some level of qualification and specific discipline. If you're an accountant, obviously you're going to have an accounting degree. But in terms of our entry level positions or what we call our line team members, um, usually we do recommend that they at least have CXC subjects, but sometimes that doesn't happen, especially in hotels I've worked with before. It's usually close to the communities, and this is what the options that people have after high school. So, in the entry level positions, we like to say we'll hire the personality and train the skills. So, once you are someone that's a people person, you like to engage, you're outgoing, you're bubbly, and you can handle yourself well, we will teach you everything else that you need to know in order to come execute the job and execute it well.
Well, that's great. I love when persons are personality-wise suited for their career. It just
Yeah.
makes a better experience in general. You also shared with me that you were granted the opportunity to work in another Caribbean island.
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you?
Well, it was exciting, I can say, but I had to pack up my life within 1 week, to be honest, to move. I had to pack up my life with 3 suitcases, 3.5 suitcases. But it's rewarding because as a Caribbean community, the opportunity for free movement, especially if you have a CSS, is pretty good. Having that opportunity to work in the other Caribbean territories, but also the all-inclusive concept within the Caribbean. Luckily, there are some large brands that exist, like Sandals, Royal Tons, that exist that have several hotels across the Caribbean. So it gives employees those opportunities to really move to another island if an opportunity arises for them to work, especially if their specific job description is needed in that territory. So it's been interesting. As I said, I had to pack up my life in 1 week, but I now reside in the island of Grenada, the beautiful Spice Island. The people are so warm, so friendly, so beautiful here. I have enjoyed it. I've been here about 2 years now, and it has been very rewarding actually. And also, it has given me a lot of peace of mind and a lot of perspective because there are times when we do take for granted what we already know in our own country and how our people operate in terms of hospitality. And then you come to another country expecting hospitality to exist the same way that it does in your own country. But unfortunately, that's not the same in every single country that you go to. And so there is some amount of adapting that has to happen to understand step back, understand the culture, understand what motivates the people, and then get them to actually perform at the standard in which is required. So it was definitely a culture shock because, as I said, it's a little bit more laid back on this side of the Caribbean, and people are very more homely, I would say. So that concept of working, running an operation that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week can be tricky. It can be something that people are not used to, especially if they have been exposed to only hotels that operate under the European plan, meaning like a simple bed and breakfast or where you pay as you go. And so services are or restaurants are not open all day, all night kind of a thing. So that has been, I think, an adjustment for other Caribbean territories that are not like Jamaica, Dominican Republic, or even Mexico, where hospitality is an all-inclusive concept.
That is truly amazing that that just adds to another layer of expansion and career growth and development that you can have just within the hospitality sector, like getting the opportunity to travel, to live abroad with an opportunity for employment. Truly a blessing in a career.
Absolutely.
Like you won't get bored.
No, one of the things too you have to be mindful of is that you always have to be an exemplary employee. Always ensure that you're doing things the right way, um, and ensuring that you're following SOPs because those are the things that will highlight you as an individual. I always tell my team that you're operating off a brand of yourself. We call it brand new in the business, and you have to represent yourself well for your leaders to see you. And with them seeing you, you then are afforded those opportunities to move around once you're a high performer. Because if you're performing well in one destination, that means you can go to another destination and continue to exceed expectations. So it's likely that most companies, most hotel chains will choose their best employees to represent them in other countries as well and to set the standard, especially if it is a hotel that is newly being opened in the chain and they want to send over possibly like a task force to open that hotel from the different locations that already exist. They're going to choose their best team members to start the first months of operation because they want to get it, they're going to want to get it right on the first try to ensure that the guest does not see a difference in the experience or the standards. Because as I said, these big hotel chains, they do have a standard. So um, anywhere you go in the world, if you go to a Santos, if you go to a Royal Sun, if you go to even a couple in Jamaica, it's gonna be a similar experience. The way the team members speak to you, the way they greet you, the way they serve you, the way they tell you hello. So it's important that team members continue to exceed expectations and perform at a high level in order to be selected to move to another level.
I love that there is so much diversity just in just one skill set because again, you're building from your personality type and your qualification and it opens a door to just so many opportunities and that is in itself is just one of the best ways to figure out what ways you can use your skills and your assets to just benefit the company and just further in your career in general. You mentioned that you started as a teacher, you were doing literature and linguistics in general, and you transitioned to hospitality. When you were transitioning or starting your career, did you have a mentor during that time?
I've had it at the beginning, no, but I've had mentors throughout my entire career. I still have mentors to this day. that keep me grounded, that have been in the industry longer than me, that know how already to do some of the jobs that I have done. And they have guided me when I'm not sure on things. I want to say, I want to shout out a few people, you know. Um, I want to say thank you to John McIntosh for giving me the opportunity. He didn't know anything about me, but I was interested, and he said he just took a leap of faith. So I think he's pretty proud of where I have come to now, 17 years later. I also want to give a shout out to Gary Williams. He is my first boss, and I worked with him on more than one occasion in more than one hotel chain. And he continues to push me and guide me. I also want to give a big shout out to Caroline Cousins, Dr. Caroline Cousins, I should say. She is my mentor to this day. She's been for more than 10 years. She is my go-to person when I am not sure on anything, when I've had a bad day and I need motivation. I like to tell people that of all the schools I graduated from, I'm a proud graduate of the Dr. Caroline Cousins Academy. It's a joke between us. But she's always taught me how to do things the right way, always do things from scratch, never cut corners, follow the SOP to a T because that is the way your subordinates are going to be looking on you, how you lead, and if you're leading by example. So she's taught me to take the long route, never any shortcuts. And I appreciate that now more than ever, especially because I have my own team that I lead. And I like to show them best practices and show them what needs to happen. I also want to shout out Andre and Paul as well. When I became a hotel manager, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I did have some idea, but the day-to-day operations, the PL, all the budgeting, all these things, I needed to fast track that information. So I would have to give him a ring and say, how do you do this? How do you do that? I also want to shout out um, Mr. O'Brien here. When I was doing my master's, he was the one that I would call sometimes just to get insights on how to do my coursework and my projects. So he was very helpful. He would give me insights. When I remember one of my coursework, I had to run a whole hotel, a vineyard of 50 rooms and set up the whole operation. And there was some things that I was missing that he guided me on, and I really appreciate that. So, as I've said, even though these mentors are not formal, like what we do through Mindful Jamaica, they've been there with me and have helped me, pushed me, guided me. I want to also shout out every single GM that I have worked with for the last 17 years. And my hotel managers as well. Christopher Elliott, Della John, Lancelot Ebert, Adrian Whitehead. They have all helped me to grow. They have challenged me, they have pushed me. We've had our little fights and we've sat down and talked it through. They've allowed me to be me because they've seen what I can do and what I can become. And then they've pushed me to the next level. So I'm really, really appreciative of all the people that have impacted my life positively.
Thank you for sharing those persons, and I thank them too for just being in your corner and being in your community to get you to where you needed to be. I know we have created our own community for students and for persons, whichever career field that they're looking to get into or whatever professional field they're looking to get to. We've created that society or that community that will foster their growth to the next position or to the next step. What would you share with persons who are probably scared to sign up with us, but probably this is the career path they're looking to get into, but they're not sure where to start? They are probably a little bit anxious to even start to communicate with somebody. What would you share with those persons?
I would definitely share with them that they just need to follow their dreams. If this is something that they want, they cannot be afraid. If anything that is holding them back from the only thing that is holding them back from achieving the things that they want to achieve in life is them. So they have to create those opportunities. I know not many persons have the personality that I have, where I will walk into a room and take charge of the room. I don't take no for an answer. I find avenues. I'm very solution oriented, I would say. So not many persons are like me. So even if they're timid, ask the right questions. Find the people that you have interest that are in the career that you have interest in, and ask the questions that are important to how did you get there? Why are you there? What fuels you? What drives you? Um, I will never forget when I was doing common entrance. Yes, I'm that old. I used to go to a class. His name was Mr. Abrahams. We used to go to a common entrance prep class. And the ceiling of the class, like over the door, it used to have a little phrase on the door. And I never forget it. It says, ask questions, you learn by asking questions. So at an early age of 9 years old, I knew that it was important to ask questions. So any young person wanting to know more about their career choice or where they should go, be okay with asking questions. That is how you're going to know exactly what you want to do, or it's going to help to guide you with what you want to do.
Shouldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for your gems, for sharing your path to your current career path, your current career, and telling us how different, because growing up, I know there were just maybe lawyer, doctor, teacher. There were just the professional careers that everybody knew of, and now be able to combine different fields and still excel in that different field that wasn't there 5, 10, 15 years ago. It's just amazing how much there is left to grow and how many opportunities are there for us to create fields for ourselves.
And
So I couldn't have said it better myself. Any last words
I just want to
before?
say more forward, the hospitality industry continues to expand with more job creation. When I started out in hospitality, I didn't have positions that exist like online communication, digital creations, animation. All of these things exist in the hotel industry now. So, as I said, travelers are looking for what's new, what's the hot spot to go to, something unique, something memorable. So, we have an industry that will continue to thrive once people have that thirst for travel. And there are so many opportunities that are there. If you like to sell things, there's jobs for you. If you like to talk to people, there's jobs for you. If you like to dance, if you like to sing, if you like to cook, if you like to wear costumes, there are jobs available in the hospitality industry. Um,
If you're in IT,
if you're
if
IT, if you're
you're a nurse, a doctor,
a
amazing.
teacher, we have the learning and development department that does all the trainings, and we do require you to at least have a teaching degree or some kind of teaching diploma to be able to be the manager in that department. Engineering, stewarding, housekeeping, food and beverage, and food and beverage has so many parts. If you like alcohol, you can be trained to become a sommelier, to be a special to become a wine specialist, So there's just so many things that you can learn within the hospitality industry and so many opportunities that there is to further your education while you are in the industry.
feel like that's what I'm most impressed by because they're not only training you, they're giving you the opportunities and they're giving you the tools to be good and set you up for success in that role as well. So that in itself is just a blessing.
Yeah,
Well, thank
I
you so
also,
much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I appreciate it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one thing with using opportunities. I also am a strong believer in not hugging up any role that I have ever had. So I've not spent more than 2 to 3 years in any of my roles because I always think of what next do I want to do. So I'm always developing the people that follow me, my subordinates, to be able to take on that role that I have left behind. So even I tell my two that are there that one of them will have to take on my position when I decide to move on to something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. For those who have just joined us, I haven't seen any questions in the chat for Nicolette, so I'm gonna leave that for now. If you do have questions, we will be sharing the live on our YouTube channel. If you have questions, we have persons who are moderating that channel and they'll see it and we'll address it in another live or another session. Thank you so much, Nicolette, for making the time and
Absolutely.
sharing your gems and your journey with us. You have shown us that there is room for more, for growth, for expansion, just in one career field, one sector. That's
Yeah.
just hospitality. And you can also advance academically from those hotels as well. And I hope someone who is listening to this conversation will find inspiration in that, as well as share it to somebody who may need it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say we appreciate you being a mind and sharing your knowledge with students who have signed up or will be signing up to just pick your brain and become a mentee of yours as well.
Yeah. I welcome it. I absolutely welcome it. I also write weekly articles now on LinkedIn on the hospitality. Last week, I shared an article on working with Gen Z within the hospitality industry. So that's an interesting read as well on my LinkedIn page. Um, we do have a question. I'm seeing one that just
I
popped up.
just saw it. I was giving you the opportunity to finish. Go ahead. Go ahead with the question.
I don't know if it was covered previously, but how does one get started? Best platform to find jobs in the industry. So the first step to the, I hope I'm not butchering that. The first step is really to just apply. Start applying to the hotels in the job area that you are interested in. The first step is sending in your application. And then we take it from there. Once the recruiters see your application and there's a job there or there's an opportunity available, they will definitely call you for an interview. With COVID-19, that has happened, a lot of people have decided to do different types of jobs, work from home. So we did suffer just a little bit with the workforce at one point. I think we're back to normal now, but we do welcome everybody from every walk of life to join if they have a passion for people, if they have a passion for service, if they have a passion for their destination. So for me, when I started out, Brand Jamaica was a big deal for me. Still is to this day. I'm really close to my heart. There's so much to tell people about Jamaica and what Jamaica has to offer. And there's this course that we actually do within the industry when I started out a couple of years back in the early years. It's called Team Jamaica. And it's basically a 1 week course that's managed by TPD, so that's the Tourism Product Development Corporation. And it's basically a crash course into all 14 parishes, the culture, what tourism excursions we have to offer, the food, the cultural activities that occur in these parishes. So you learn about all 14 priorities, and it's a good thing to have. So anybody that comes to Jamaica or works in the industry, like tour operators, expatriates that may come from other countries and decide to work in hospitality, as well as regular everyday team members, it's a good course, and I think it's now a requirement that they complete this course in order to work in the hospitality industry. So automatically, once you have completed this course, it's a good conversation starter because you will become so knowledgeable about all things Jamaica that you're able to talk to your guests and tell them. You don't have to be telling your guests anything personal about yourself, about your personal life. You can always be talking about something to do with Jamaica, something to try, something to taste. And I think that course itself has helped to expand the tourism experience greatly. I hope I've an- answered your question in how you start. Just apply. Just apply.
Adding to that, we also share opportunities that are available on our website and social media pages, which is theminds.off.com and or Instagram and Facebook pages. So if you were to become a part of the community and you choose to just see the different options that we have, we'll also share those opportunities there. Hopefully that has answered your question, as Nicolette said. But if you do have more questions, feel free to send us a message, send us a DM. You can comment under the post. We'll still have it up. It will be shared on our Instagram page. And again, before we sign out, just let me know if there's any other question that you want us to answer. We'll quickly answer it in the chat or in the comment, and then we'll close out. I guess not. Okay, no worries. Or conversation will be posted on our Instagram page. So if you do have more questions, feel free to comment under it. We will see it and we will communicate with you. Again, Nicolette, I truly appreciate you making the time for this conversation. It really was enlightening, and I hope someone receives inspiration from this conversation or shares it with somebody who needs it. All right, I'm
So
gonna
much for
end the live here.
having
Go ahead.
And I said, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here. It was a pleasure to give insights on the industry. I hope I did it some justice. I would love to
Absolutely.
talk some more to some of the mentees about all of the things that I've done, all the things that the certifications that I've garnered, and all the opportunities that the industry can afford you. So I'm looking forward to getting more mentees that are interested in hospitality.
They'll message you, no worries. But thank you again, and we're gonna end the live here. But thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for everyone who joined. We truly appreciate you making the time to join, and we'll see you on our next Mentorship Monday in August.